Book summary, Blink, Malcolm Gladwell. Have you ever felt that weight in your chest when you need to make an important decision, but doubt paralyzes you? That voice inside you that says go, but your mind starts to calculate, weigh, analyze, until you freeze. And when you finally decide, the chance has already passed, or worse, you make the wrong choice and regret it. That happens because we were taught to distrust our instinct, to believe that only reason can save us, when in fact, your greatest power lies exactly in the impulse you learned to ignore. But what if you could train your instinct to get it right more often? What if your adaptive unconscious, that part of your brain that decides in seconds, is actually smarter than your rational mind? In this Blink book summary, you'll discover how to tap into what Malcolm Gladwell calls the intelligence of the blink of an eye, and learn to trust what's already working inside you. Here, you won't hear cold theory. You'll feel, understand, and practice. And you'll leave with real tools to decide better, faster, and with less regret. If this topic speaks directly to you, hit the like button and subscribe now, because we're going straight where no one else goes. Inside your mind, no fluff, no overthinking, just the truth. The truth is, you already know much more than you think. The problem is that overthinking has become a habit, and doubting yourself has become the rule. But science and the book Blink, Malcolm Gladwell, shows that there are two minds inside you, one that thinks and another that acts, one that calculates and another that feels. And when you learn to listen to the second, you start living better. Have you ever made a snap judgment without knowing why, yet you were certain you were right? That's not luck, it's not magic. It's your instinct versus analysis in action, an emotional radar trained to assess complex situations in seconds, based on accumulated experiences, emotions, hidden memories. And here's the craziest part. It's almost always accurate. So why do we doubt it? Because we've been conditioned to trust only logic. And then, even when intuition screams, we rationalize and sabotage ourselves. That's why Blink is so powerful. It shows that trusting instinct isn't foolishness, it's intuitive decision-making at its finest. The first big shift in this book is understanding that you judge the world in seconds, even without realizing it. We call this thin slicing, the ability to capture the essence of a situation with very little information. You know that moment when you look at someone and immediately feel that something's off, or when you walk into a room and sense something's out of place. That's thin slicing psychology in action. And guess what? The more you train it, the more accurate it gets. But there's a catch. Instinct can fail if it's contaminated by implicit bias, hidden prejudices, unresolved traumas. So the secret isn't just to trust. It's to refine your radar. Do you want to know how to train your intuition so it works like a superpower? Then don't leave this video. But before explaining what truly activates or sabotages your unconscious judgment, hit the like button and subscribe, because the next section will unlock things that have been holding you back for years, and no one has ever explained it this clearly. Optimized insights. You have two minds, one rationale and one instinctive. Instinct can be more effective than reasoning if well trained. Quick decisions can be more accurate than overthought ones. But if this is already inside you, why do you still get it wrong so often? The next part will reveal the invisible errors that sabotage your most important decisions, and how to turn this game around before it swallows you from the inside. You've probably noticed how certain decisions haunt you for years, even after you spent a long time thinking before acting. The truth is, it wasn't time that made you fail. It was the analysis paralysis that killed your intuition. The problem isn't thinking. It's thinking too much when what you really needed was to feel. This is where Blink lands a punch straight to the gut. The more you try to control everything rationally, the blinder you become to the signals your emotional brain is trying to show you. Gladwell exposes with brutal precision how implicit bias contaminates your judgment without you even realizing it. You believe you're deciding logically, but in reality, you're acting based on traumas, fears, and prejudices living in the shadows of your mind. And when that happens, your instinct fails, not because it's weak, but because it's dirty. That's why the second big lesson in this Blink, Malcolm Gladwell's book is to train your unconscious as if it were a muscle. Training means recognizing mental patterns that distort your perception. It means cleaning your emotional field so your feeling becomes pure and accurate, like an arrow. This happens when you expand your emotional experience, face your own filters, and allow yourself to act without the weight of judgment. It's not about ignoring reason. It's about reintegrating instinct into your decision-making process. And there's more. Blink shows that even visual decisions, like judging a face, a tone of voice, a space, are impacted by seconds of unconscious perception. Your brain has already drawn conclusions before you finish hearing the sentence. It has already decided whether to trust before the handshake. That's why leaders, doctors, athletes, and high-level negotiators not only trust their instinct, they train it like a science. Because it is science. Training instinct means exposing yourself to real contexts and learning from quick mistakes. It means adjusting your aim based on experience, not just theory. It's like a race car driver who feels the car before the car reacts. It's like a surgeon who senses something is wrong before the monitor beeps. But what's stopping you from getting to this level? The belief that only the rationale is reliable. A belief implanted in your head by school, by society, by years of emotional punishment every time you acted on impulse. Now, it's time to break that down. You don't need to hide behind doubt anymore. What you feel before you think could be your greatest asset. If this content is making you see your own mistakes more clearly, hit the like button and subscribe. Now, there's more coming, and it's going to get even deeper. Optimized insights. Instinct fails when contaminated by unconscious traumas and biases. Training the unconscious is possible and necessary. Your judgment is shaped in seconds, even when you think you're in control. Now that you understand how your instinct can be trained, the question is, how do you apply this in the real world, in decisions that truly matter, under pressure, with emotional risk involved? In the next section, we'll explore exactly how to act fast, decide with confidence, and turn your intuition into a high-precision weapon, even when everything seems to paralyze you. Have you ever faced a choice that seemed simple until your body froze? Dry mouth, short breath, stomach in knots, and suddenly, the decision that seemed obvious turns into an emotional minefield. The question isn't whether you're capable. It's that, in critical moments, those who don't trust their instinct sink into doubt, even when they know what they should do. That's where the power of emotional practice comes in. Recognizing that moment, accepting the discomfort, and acting anyway. Gladwell shows that highly effective people don't have less fear. They simply don't let it paralyze them. They feel everything you feel, but they decided to train instinct as an extension of their own identity. Because understanding. Blink means understanding that your biggest mistake wasn't acting quickly. It was stopping too long to think about what was already clear from the start. The secret lies in creating real contexts for intuitive practice. This can happen at work, in relationships. In health, you start small, daily situations, and gradually increase intensity. Decide before your mind sabotages you. Feel, record. Learn this cycle makes your gut decision-making faster, sharper, more precise, and more. Blink teaches that. Effective decisions aren't about having all the information, but the right information. When you try to analyze everything, you get lost in the noise. But when you listen to what truly matters, clarity appears, like a spark, like a blink. That's why By the end of the book, you realize it's not about thinking less. It's about trusting more in what your body, your history, your emotions already know. Because in the end, your greatest power lies in the invisible, in what you can't explain, but you feel. Optimized insights acting fast is not irresponsibility. It's emotional precision, instinct. Can be trained through real exposure and conscious reflection. Clarity comes from focusing on the essential, not analyzing everything. If this Blink book summary helped you understand how your brain works and gave you real tools to change the way you act, hit the like button and subscribe now. Here, we go deep without wasting your time, bringing more content that unlocks decisions, behaviors, and puts you in control of your own life. And if you want to keep breaking through what's holding you back, there are more videos here. More books, more lessons, all with one goal: to make you trust more in the person you already are.